to Executive Production with CY. Today is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. I'm Sweets. This is CY. This is our bi-weekly. It's been a month since our last check-in where we talk about in-process executive production and just what we're overall working on in general. The last time we talked again was a month ago. And just to recap, last time we talked, you were asking us to build a specialized page for the success page after doing an SMS moment. So I'll briefly highlight that just to come back on what we did last time. And this is something else I wanted to show. So here's my last moment that I created. Well, I guess a better place to show it would be in Telegram, because that's actually where I get those messages. I mostly use Telegram now as my interface to upload to in-process. And that is in-process is right here. So we've got a bot, and I just send it pretty regularly, at least once a week, if not a couple times a week. I'll just put a photo. It'll reply and ask me for the title. I'll give it the title, and then it takes a couple seconds, and then it's live. So I'll send a photo at 8:37, and then by 8:38, so within 1 minute, we will have gone back and forth. It will have collected all the info it needs. It will have published it on chain, and then I get back a link that looks more or less like our collect link, but instead of /collect, it's /SMS. We're using the same /SMS for both text messages and Telegram. And if I click on that, I always do it from my phone. So this is not a normal experience for me to do it on web. But then initially I just see the title and then the image, and you can see it told me to log in. And then once the login resolves, I can then modify this info. So I can change the title, I can change the description, I can airdrop it to cxy.eth. I can also pull up my regular addies. I can airdrop it to myself. And then I can airdrop. I'm sorry, what were you trying to say?
No, I was encouraging you to just airdrop it to me, because it seemed like you were like, and I'm going to show it, and then I'm going to back off before I actually do it. But excellent, love it.
And it all works. And so this is an easy page to. This was something you had requested, and now it's been built. So I'll pause here. Feedback, thoughts.
So a couple of things as I've used this from the SMS point of view. Actually, I haven't tried it through Telegram, and so side note, I'm curious if you end up feeling like when you throw photos through Telegram, if you end up with like higher, does it preserve the resolution in a more reliable way than SMS does? Do you have that sense?
Images is a great question. I have not compared. I think the biggest difference in content preservation is video, because as we've seen, video gets highly degraded in SMS, but on Telegram, it's an internet native protocol. And so videos are preserved really well. Yoshiro just sent a bug, and so we're fixing that because of another update we did. But videos are great on Telegram. I also don't know if there's a limit on videos on Telegram. So if you're trying to do videos on the go, I think Telegram is a much better client than SMS, specifically for videos. But your question of image resolution, I haven't compared.
Yes. I mean, it intuitively that sounds right, because like SMS, you're sort of at the will of whatever protocol mess is between the carriers, that you have to deal with on the way there, and that's where a lot of degradation happens. So, yeah, actually, it feels to me like this is the time for me to also play with the Telegram feature, or to go through Telegram to see how that feels versus doing it through SMS. I've been doing them. I'm trying to get back onto the daily post flow in SMS, but I'll try doing it from Telegram to see how that feels. That'll be my exercise for the next 2 weeks, I think. Within this UI, I do feel like the share button is a little bit abstract. Like some people know share because that it's a toolbar button that's been around for a couple of years probably. But alongside all the other buttons that are textual, I think it would probably benefit someone who's coming in that we can't make presumptions about in terms of their sort of like internal vocabulary of iconography, that means share. So I would like to suggest putting the share button, or maybe the share button is really, it's copying it's not literally sending you to share. It's just copy. It's really copy. Whoa, that's a stack of copies. Basically give it a text label is, I guess, what I'm really just saying.
Copy. For text label, would you prefer keeping the icon as is and putting a text label above it, or would you prefer getting rid of the icon?
Just make it say copy link
inside of the button instead of the icon?
That's correct.
Copy. And not saying share, but say copy link.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do feel like there's some sort of like implicit UX trend going on where there's just everywhere you go, you see, actually, it's sometimes the two overlapping squares for wherever people are like copy the wallet address.
Right.
In this case, like again, like if you deal with a lot of wallets and that copy, you look for that copy UI. But in this case, in process, I don't think we want to make that presumption people are like wallet native necessarily. So having it just say copy link is like, we're literally telling you what it is, so you don't have, there's no mistaking like what is the idea. Yeah,
those
like
little overlapping things you were saying, right?
Yeah, when you're wallet native, like you know exactly what those mean.
Mm-hmm. I like the little animation that we threw in here for the copy button.
Oh, nice.
Vibe coding has made it so that we can just give a nice little intent of like, give me a nice transition between these icons, and it does them.
Oh, yeah. That's super cute. Yeah, and so also over here we've got a copy link situation next to the one USDC. I think we should also blow that out into copy link and maybe put it on another line from the USDC, so it doesn't get confused as like press that to do something with that one USDC in the box.
Okay.
Little UX-y tweaks that I'd like to request.
Yep. These are great. Change the icon to text, have it say copy link. We'll have it in a shared component between that page and this page. Yep. And then we'll bring on the moment page onto a new line for the button.
Yep.
Anything else, other feedback on this SMS page that we talked about over a month ago in our last call?
I think regular addies is like a cute way of saying it, but I'm not sure that is intuitive for. There's probably a better way to say it, like a previous airdrop, like that's like previous airdrop targets is what it literally is, or something. But that also sounds super dry.
I agree with you. This was exactly what Forrest had sent us, and so we just took his exact text. Yeah. I agree with you. This is, if Forrest is using it, absolutely. If another artist is not aware that Forrest asked for this, it's going to feel, what is an Addy and why are they using it in this production grade application?
Maybe it just says recent airdrops.
Recent airdrops.
Recent airdrop.
Recent airdrops. Let's start with that, and then if it still feels. Factor 2, recent airdrops.
Or maybe it's recent recipients or something like that.
I like the alliteration with recent recipients.
Yep.
What else you got on this page?
I think that's good. Let's roll with those little changes and see how it feels.
Excellent. The next place I wanted to take you to are the updates that have happened in the past 2 weeks. Anything you want to interject before we go there?
No, let's go there.
Okay, so where'd it go? I must have closed it. Dang it. Well, I'll try to send the same prompt again. When Jade's been asking me for updates, I like that I can use my vibe coding tools, because what I did right before this call, and I'll do it again, is I just go into the in-process repo, I open up Claude Code, and then I just tell Claude, hey, summarize all changes in this repo over the last 2 weeks by reading our commit history. Highlight what we should share with investors. And then it goes through and reads all the commits and then gives me a nice list that we can kind of go through. While it's doing it, I did this earlier. We built out an admin page Our
Mhm.
Weave has been switched over to Turbo SDK. Mobile homepage loads way faster.
Mhm.
Manage page now supports sales. Farcaster frames, we added a Farcaster frame for the collection pages as well as updating other Farcaster frames. And on the
Sweet.
moment pages, we now have the list of collectors that you kind of already saw when I was highlighting the moment page.
Yep.
It's going to pull this in, and then we should have that list to be more visually.
I recall somewhere along the line that there were some optimizations to video playback.
Yep. Video
Um,
playback is also now streaming. Let me try to find an example of that for you. Did you have a
There's
question?
one that Dutchy posted recently. It might just be that one where I definitely waited for it. Was trying to load, and Dutchy always pushes the envelope in size. So, oh, it's playing back for you right away.
What were
Awesome. I was doing it on a mobile device, and
Okay.
it was just like spinning and spinning and spinning.
Interesting. We expect it to be fast now. So if you see that again, let us know in the chat. That way we
Okay.
get it faster, because mobile has now been optimized.
Awesome.
Mobile and audio have both been optimized.
Great.
Here's that summary. Admin dashboard. We've got you, myself, Latasha are the only people that can access these admin pages. So I won't show the emails page. That one was requested by Latasha because she wanted to be able to download a CSV of all the emails, so that way she can bring that over to Topia. The artist table and the analytics, I feel like I can show that. And so that one, you again can get to this page. Anybody else won't be able to. The artist page, the goal of this was Latasha had asked how many bots versus actual humans. And so here is that on the artist page. 73 artists total. And then if we swap over to bots, we get the same thing of the number of bots versus humans. How we are differentiating right now is a human has set up a username, a bot has not. So we have, out of everybody that's created on the platform, 6,700 unique artists that have not put in a username. These could be actual humans that just have not put in a username, but it's the same criteria we use on the homepage. If you've created a moment and you don't have a username, we're not surfacing your moments on the homepage. These are, we've got, and then there's 73 artists that have published a username and still upload moments. Any questions or feedback on this artist page?
So the second one is that it looks like a non-username, the 0xf. Is that just a exception, or is it?
It's a good question. Let me check out this one to see why this one got pulled in. Let's check out this profile. So this is RC Hulin. This is someone from Argentina that I know them personally, but they haven't published any moments.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's like a corner case where if you haven't published moments, it knows it's a human, but does not represent the display name in there.
Yeah. And this one's even more interesting because this one doesn't even say a username underneath.
Yeah.
So it looks like we do need to take another look at admin artists. Are we okay with that being the logic of human versus bot? Or this is a question I don't think anybody has an answer to, but do you have other filter criteria you want to use to differentiate between human and bots?
I think of it as, well, I think maybe the salient question is, what does a bot mean in this context? Because like there's certainly the sort of the accusatory dark meaning of bot, but in actuality, we've talked about it. Some of these are being used by Recoup for reasons that, like I'm presuming I don't need to care, but it would be good to know, like what is it? What are the other presences like using in process for?
Yeah, that's my big question as well, is why are we trying to differentiate? But you asked it as well. When I published the Dune dashboard, you were like, whoa, we've got 7,000 artists. That's a lot. And I was like, yeah, well, most of them are bots. And so I think it inflated your expectations. And on your side, I think you wanted to know because you haven't seen 7,000 actual humans publishing on chain, let alone using our product. And so that surprised you. Latasha and Jade, I'm curious of what their intention is when they're trying to differentiate between artists and humans. So the more I can understand of why we want to differentiate, the better I can make the filter to actually present to them whatever it is they want to see out of all the data that we have.
I think the question for me is like, if I were to be able to see what bots have been posting within the in-process protocol, like what are those things, and should I care? Because at some level, I feel like maybe you don't have to create a filter where you have a human tab and a bot tab. You just have artists, and artists are just humans, and everything else we just ignore from the dashboard perspective. Like, I don't have to care that there's bots under the covers doing things that are like that I shouldn't care about.
Right. Let me show you a couple examples of some bots. So here's one. This was from August of last year. I'm assuming that was something that I made. It was just a noun, a cassette. Looks like there's another cassette noun. This is our system, our knowledge bases. These are our knowledge bases on Recoup. We stored them on in-process as text documents. And so when someone creates a new artist on in-process, we go out and do deep research on them, pulling in everything we know about their musical styles. What are their top performing things, Spotify data, notable projects, demographic or career trajectory, and everything. And then we save that on in-process so that it's there kind of forever.
Okay. So, all right, I get it. I think you don't have to say bots. You just say when we want to know, when Latasha or me is curious, like how many artists on the platforms, you're just like, here, this is the result. Everything else is like, it's just under the covers.
Okay, so when people ask, we should just show the 73 number and don't even talk about the bot stuff.
Yeah. Basically, the bots are like, you're using in-process for other things than people logging what they've been up to. And that's fine. It's just like a giant database in the sky.
Should we do that same filtering here? Because this number, the moments shared, does also include.
Let's constrain that to just what artists have been posting. So basically, the in-process UI layer just like looks through the lens of artists and artist activity.
Moment count filtered by human artists. Okay. All right, artists. We have a couple minutes left and we've got a big list. So I'll just ask anything on here that you want to talk about or highlight, or is there something not on this list that you want to highlight and talk about in the last couple minutes we have?
Let's talk a bit about sale management revamp and Arweave infrastructure upgrade.
Sale management was requested by Duodo. They had said that they wanted to be able to change the price on a moment. And so if I go into something like my Feeding the Birds moment, I select the specific moment. Now we have the sale tab where you can then modify the sale start, which was kind of always there. You can also now modify the price. So if I want to increase the price, I can increase the price, and then that gets set on chain. And then when I go back to the moment, I can then see that it has been updated with the new price. Questions, comments, feedback there?
Nope, that's fantastic. I remember that conversation.
Okay. The other one you just said was Arweave. People posted this past weekend in the Telegram saying that uploads were not working. Arweave gateway went down as a result of them flagging it as insecure. First, they blocked client queries, which prevented our front end from being able to get info. And then the regular Arweave.js package got deprecated, or it was made so we couldn't use it. And so we had to switch over to Turbo SDK to continue to make uploads onto Arweave. And then we had to change our gateway from arweave.net to ario.net. It seems like AR.io is starting to become a bigger player and a bigger maintainer of the Arweave stack. It makes me a little bit concerned seeing like a core JS package no longer working. But the more I think about it, it is only on the upload side that people seem to be having that they're changing around the architecture. There's still not any question that these images and content are being stored forever on the permaweb. But we did need to make some back-end changes so that way uploads work and the gateways work. And one of the benefits of this Turbo SDK is the Turbo SDK has a top-up page. I wanted to use them in the past, but they didn't work on Next.js. They have since updated. Turbo SDK. Before, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but anytime our Arweave account ran out,
Yep.
I had to go over to a site called Simple Swap or Quick Swap, and then I would swap, and it would take hours to do that swap.
Oh, geez.
Turbo allows me to use credit or debit card, and so I can use my business credit card to buy credits, and they show up instantly. They also do storage things like if Dutchy uploads the same video 5 times, that's a massive video. Turbo knows that the same video has already been uploaded, and it doesn't re-upload the same thing onto Arweave, so it's going to save us from duplicated credits.
Awesome. Okay.
Questions or feedback on those two of the sale management or Arweave infrastructure?
Nope, those are great.
Anything else you want to cover, or good to go?
No, I think we're good to go. Thank you very much.
Have a great week, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks for our next episode. I believe Gabriel Lago will be joining us here in Cali, Colombia. He's the first mini app builder that has been building a client on top of InProcess. Have a great week.
Oh, all